Hello everyone, my name is Adriel. Today I'm just going to show you how to do some budget sharpening. So my inspiration for this video was obviously watching a lot of YouTube videos and then wanting to sharpen my own knives. But unfortunately, some like you would realize if you want to start sharpening your knives, that stones can be a bit high priced, and it's difficult to start off with. Because you want to start, you want to make a start, and then but you think about it like stones are that highly priced, but you want to make a start. So I'm just going to show you that it's actually possible to sharpen with most probably what you have or something just that you can get from your local hardware store. So before we get started, this is the stone I'm going to be using. Nothing fancy. This one is made by a company called Brentwood. It has 120 grit and 240 grit. So this stone in my country it costs 30 rand, or if you want to put it into dollars, it's just under $2. So we'll be using this stone today, and I'll show you that you can still get a very sharp edge with the stone and the use of a synthetic leather strop that I made on myself. So just to show you how dull this knife is before I start, this knife is around just over just over $1 maybe. If something very cheap, something that you get from a supermarket, just want to show you how dull this knife is. If you try, it's very dull. So we're starting with a dull knife. So the stone, you have to soak it for a while, maybe about an hour or so. And this is have a very budget setup, just very bare minimum stuff. But obviously I just want to make a start, so this is what I'm going to be using. So as you see, this is the stone I'll be using, and to get a perfect angle is impossible, especially if you're doing freehand sharpening. So when you're using the stone and this knife here, so you're going to feel the natural angle of the knife. So what you do is you're going to start at the back of the stone, and you're going to pick your knife up to about 30 degrees. So that's more than what any knife should be sharpened at. So you're going to start pushing, and you're going to push very light pressure, and you realize what your knife is not moving because it's getting stuck in the stone. Then you're going to start decreasing your angle slowly until your knife starts gliding on top of the stone. So gliding going forward. Then you know that's about your angle you're going to use on either side. So let's get started. So I'm just going to wet the stone a bit more and find my angle. I'm going to start pushing first. So very important to note, if you're a beginner like myself and you're just starting off, you should start by just pushing an edge trailing stroke, meaning you should be going in the direction that's opposite of the edge of your knife. So if you just start doing that, you can start from your edge, and just place pressure on your edge with about 3 fingers or 2 fingers, and just push through. And if you want to glue the other way around, the other side of your edge, then you're going to do the same angle, just going to pull through. The most important thing is to try and keep a constant angle. You're never going to get it perfect, but as long as you keep a constant angle on both sides, you're going to get an edge that is sharp. So you're going to start off obviously with the rougher grit, and let's just get started. Let's just get the stone nice and wet, and let's just try and keep a nice constant angle. So you can see I'm pushing and pulling, but the only force is on the push stroke. So let's go. Do it for a while there, then you'll be able, if you look at your edge, you'll be able to see the pattern on your edge it's been scratched up a bit. So that's how you know you're starting to remove some metal from your blade. So you just want to wet the stone a little bit more before going, now switching over, when you switch the knife around, remember your pressure is always on your edge trailing stroke. That means when you're pushing your knife or pulling your knife away from your edge. So now when I'm doing it in this direction, what I'm actually doing is pressure on the pull, no pressure going back. So just pressure on the pull. Just make sure you try to keep as constant of an angle as possible. Now, when you just start off, you're going to have a problem with that. It's normal. But the key is practice and just persevere what you're doing, and you'll realize that you're not far away from a sharp knife. So obviously we have a long way more to go. So we'll just carry on the 120 grit side. Put a bit more force if you can when you're starting off, just to get your initial edge shape. I like to switch every few strokes. So what we're looking for after every few strokes, we're looking for something called the burr. So in simple terms, what we're looking for is when you feel a knife edge, you take your 3 fingers and or 2 fingers, whatever, and just feel the top. You should feel some sort of bite at the top. But we don't feel that quite as prominent as yet, so we just have to carry on. So another tip would be to try and move your entire arm once you get your angle fixed. That's going to help you to keep a constant angle. Okay, we're starting to feel some improvement now. Okay, definitely some improvement now, but we're going to keep going. Since we're not using any high-end stone or mid-range or low-end stone even of Japanese whetstone, this is just a local made whetstone. I'm not so sure where it's made in, but it's a very low quality. As I said, this is just under $2. So for the price, you're going to have to put in a bit of extra effort. So when you're starting off initially shaping the knife, what you want to start to do is apply a bit of extra pressure, and then as you're going through, you're going to start decreasing your pressure. So now since we start to feel some sort of burr, we're going to just decrease our pressure ever so slightly. Not a lot, because we're still a long way away from getting our edge that we desire. Okay, that's getting better. Then as you feel your edge getting sharper, you're gonna start extending your strokes, making it nice and smooth, and start decreasing your pressure. The other way. Try and keep the angle nice and constant. Then as we can feel now, our knife is starting to feel like it can actually do some stuff now. But anyways, since as I said, we're using a low-end stone, you're just going to put a bit of extra effort on this. So we're going to start just decreasing our pressure ever so slightly, focusing on the actual parts of the knife, on each part of the edge, moving our 2 fingers, applying pressure at the tip first, then on the midsection of the knife, and then finally at the heel of the knife. Okay, and you should be feeling a big difference by now. Then once you feel yourself satisfied and you think you're getting the sharp enough edge, then what we're going to start doing now is going to start basically stropping our knife. So you're going to start a nice long stroke with gentle pressure. Most important thing now, one directional, and we're keeping a constant angle on the knife. So we're going to start at our tip to feel nice and smooth, less pressure as possible. So as you can hear, it's a very rough stone. So decrease pressure now, nice low pressure. You can even do it at one end if you want now, because we're not really putting any pressure on the blade, we're just refining it the best we can on the stone. So once we have a decent edge on our knife, when we can feel it with our fingers, we can feel it bites quite well. So we're going to now turn over to the finer 240 side as the company rates the stone, but I'm not actually sure if it's reliable ratings, but it's quite coarse on its own. So and now we're going to start doing the exact same thing like how we started off with the 120 side. Just going to keep a nice constant angle and move along, continue applying pressure from the tip going towards our heel. Now we're going to turn around and do it the other direction. Just wet our stone a bit more. Make sure it's nice and hydrated. Okay, let's go. Remember, if you're just starting off, I think you should just do strokes this way. It'll help you to keep a constant angle, because the first time I started trying it back and forth, it was a bit difficult to keep the angle constant. So that's just so this will take you will take a bit less time on this side, but remember, this is the finest grit that we have. I mean, there's no 1,000 or 6,000 stones available. So we're just using the 240 stone, and we're going to try and get the best we can. So we start off with maximum pressure, not a lot of pressure, but just a good, fair amount of pressure. I'm just going to start alternating now, so we don't overdo one side, and then we're still using quite a decent amount of pressure. So we're just going to clean this up. The stone is very cheap, so there's a lot of particles that are some are bigger than the other, and I'll tell you to be careful with it. So we're using a good amount of pressure, and you'll feel the knife getting sharper. You'll feel the knife getting sharper as you carry on your process. So just make sure that you keep the stone wet at all times, and we're just trying to okay, we're going to reverse now. Okay, seems like we're getting a decent edge on this now. So now we start applying medium pressure, and we're going to do full strops from one end of the stone to the other end. Nice medium pressure. Remember, the first time you do this, when you're starting off, you don't have to be perfect. I'm far from perfect. I'm still learning as I go. I just thought this video would be good to encourage someone that wants to start and does not have the popular stones or the money to buy a stone that's very expensive. Because even the so-called budget stones are quite pricey. So I'm just going to carry on doing this full stop at a medium pressure. Constant angle, nice smooth motions. So So we can feel our blade getting nice and sharp now. So as we feel it getting sharper, we're going to start decreasing the pressure a bit and trying to refine it. It's just all about feel. As you get better, you'll feel what your knife is asking you to do. See some water now. Okay, so that's starting to feel really nice now. So, but we're not going to stop there because we're just using the stone, so we're going to keep on decreasing the pressure until we're going to get a nice, reasonably polished edge. You can't get really polished with 240, but anyways, we're going to try. So it's starting to get better. So now we're going to start decreasing our pressure even more. Nice smooth strokes. And then now we're going to go even lighter on the pressure. So if you have a bit of a softer wood or whatever, you can just run your knife through very lightly, just very lightly a few times, just to remove some of the burr, and then just to carry on to refine the edge afterwards. So you're just pushing through and pulling. You're just nicely refining this now. Nice, very light pressure now, very light pressure. Just alternating with everyone, so just to make sure our edge is nice and centralized and not going to either side. So, nice and light. Until a point where you're barely even using your other hand, this hand here, so you just want to start. So it's just basically keeping a constant angle. And it should feel a good level of sharpness now. So at this point, we can just do a few more times, so about 6 more times or so. Just push it through. You can hear it start to sound nice and smooth now. 3, or as smooth as you could get. So okay, so that should be it on the stone. So I'm just going to wipe up this knife quickly. So next we're going to go on to stropping our knife. So I'm just going to make this sure this knife is nice and dry. So this is our strop that we'll be using today. So I've just prepared my own strop with 2 pieces of plywood stuck together. And since I didn't have genuine leather, and genuine leather can also be quite pricey to get, and it's difficult to get them sometimes in small quantities, especially where I'm from. So I'm gonna this is a strop that I made 2 sides of the exact same synthetic leather. So this I just applied some stropping compound, not stropping, just a polishing compound, just to help cutting. And this side is just the plain synthetic leather. So I have searched I've googled things about synthetic strops, and not much results came up. So I decided to try one for myself. So just a synthetic strop with some polishing compound. So on the similar angle that we've been using thus far, we're just going to carry on running our blade through that. The side of the stropping compound first. So same angle. Okay, remember this video is just focusing on the basic stuff that's available around you, very cost effective. So this top is actually really cheap, made from scrap materials. We just had a piece of this lying around, so we made this. And the stone, remember, is just under $2, and this is a very cheap knife as well. So I'm just gonna strop this a bit more. So just carry on stropping this. Make sure your angle is nice and constant. It's okay if you just wanna, this is a bit wet now, but if you want to just put this all on this and just carry on, you can do that. I'm just gonna hold it in my hand and do it. You can use the same method as you were stropping on the stone in the last few strokes. So we're just gonna carry on, make sure the angle is nice and constant, a bit faster. So what this is actually gonna do is gonna polish your edge as well as refine it a bit, make it a bit sharper. So let's just carry on. Sharpening compound from the other side. Just try to make it as quick as possible. That edge feels really good. So because it's not a genuine leather strop, it's gonna take a bit longer, just like a lower price stone. These things are cheaper, and they require you to put a little bit more effort into them and time as well. You get what you pay for at the end of the day. So this can take quite some time. But you start looking at the knife and you start to look at it, and you'll see your edge starting to get a bit shinier. And that's when you know your polishing compound, the stropping compound is actually working, or should I say your strop. So you carry on, you put a bit of pressure when you're stropping with the synthetic leather, and especially after coming off from a 240 grit stone. So yeah, I kind of have a lot of work to do. Now usually you start stropping after 1,000, maybe a 3,000 or a 6,000 stone, but now we're just starting to strop after 240 stone. So it's going to take a bit more time. So pressure, just like the concept on the stone, the concept we're going to first starting with greater pressure, then we're going to start easing on the pressure to medium pressure as we stropping this knife through. And we start going lighter pressure. Okay, it's time to repair up, but this looks going to carry on a bit longer. Because as I said, it's going to take much more time now because we're not using the best of equipment, but we're trying our best. Because neither am I an expert sharpener or anything like that. So I'm just trying to encourage some people, yeah. And take you through my journey as well. Okay, and then now we're going to flip over. After our knife looks decently polished and feels quite good on the edge, we're going to turn the blade now over to the plain leather side without no compound or anything on the synthetic leather, and we're just going to strop our knife on that just quite a bit. You'll feel this one is much smoother, so we start at medium pressure. Just going to carry on. There's much less resistance on the side, because there's no compound, no cutting being done by the compound or polishing. So this is the synthetic leather. Okay, so you start to notice your blade is looking much more polished now, and then we just carry on. A little longer, medium. Constant angle, most important thing we're looking at here. I'm just going to increase the speed and decrease the pressure, most importantly. Remember, you can take your time with this. I'm just trying to make it a bit quicker for the sake of this video, so it doesn't become too boring. So that should be that, and then you'll feel the blade is feeling quite sharp. I don't know if it's sharp enough yet, but we're gonna try it. Now remember how dull this blade was. We're gonna take the same piece of paper and hopefully it's gonna cut through. And you'll see it's really smooth. So we've got a really good edge on this knife. Look at that, nice and smooth. So we've got a really good edge on this knife. In a few minutes, with something, basically a setup that costs, I would estimate, with the knife included, around $6. So it's not to say this video, the point of this video is to say that you don't need, even the so-called budget stones that you're looking at buy on YouTube and things like that, or on Amazon, on eBay and whatever, is around $20 each. So this stone costs lower than $2, and this here is really cheap to make. I mean, this is a synthetic leather. You can find, I'm sure you have something that's synthetic leather in your house. Just cut it off, put it on a board, and stick it. And if you can get some polishing compound, not compulsory, it just speeds up your job a bit if you don't have a genuine leather strop. And from a 240, we went straight to our polishing compound side, and then we're going to go to our smooth leather side. And you can see a knife that costs just over $1 and is it's quite an old knife now. It was completely dull before this. With just the 120 240 stone and the strop, we're making clean cuts through from the heel to the tip of our knife. So as I'm saying, if you're thinking of getting started in sharpening knives, just make a start. Just look at whatever you have and just get going, because the only way you're going to learn is if you start. And even if you don't have those stones that cost $30, $40 and going up, you can still make a start and still get a very, very good edge on your knife, even if you don't have the best resources. So I hope this video encourages you a bit, and all the best if you're going to make a start, and I hope this video help you. So if you can, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos coming up, more interesting videos on budget equipment and the less use of power tools and things like that. So stay tuned.